Hi, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I can't even believe it, but I think it's been almost a year since we last looked at this How to Get the Most House for Your Money book. Have any of you been here this long? That you were around when we looked at this before? I was like, where is that book? And so I went on a deep dive search for it this morning. You know what? It was under a pile of stuff on the floor. That's how neat and tidy it is. But this book's cool. It's called The Most House for Your Money. And look, it's from 1948. And about a year ago, we looked through, and I marked the page. So hold on, let me try to get this. I guess that's how far it goes. Okay. I don't want to rip it or anything. So we'll just go to where we left off. What does this say? Copyright 1947 by American Technical Society. Copyrighted in Great Britain. Printed in the United States. Okay. Colonial Don's New Dress. I mean, I remember feeling like 1948, and look at how, I don't know, should I say modern? I think modern. Like these corner windows all the way across. I love it. And the greenhouse. Oh my God. That's my dream house. A greenhouse is my dream house. Whenever I'm at like a botanical garden and go in a greenhouse, I just love it so much. Selecting a livable neighborhood. You got to look for character, location, street layout, traffic, blocks, buildings, trees and screen planting, utilities, protecting ordinances and deeds, community facilities. Yeah, I think that's still good advice. And then they show you different types of neighborhoods. Look at the park areas. Now they'd build every bit of that, wouldn't they? Shopping centers. Financing a home. Don't try to be a building expert. What is a solar house? Oh, yeah. See, this has to do with your roof line. So they're showing like in the summertime, this is the summer sun because it's higher up. If your roof line sticks out, then it keeps the sun from being direct into your window and heating your house. And if the roof line is correct, then in the winter when the sun's lower on the horizon, the sun will go directly in your house and warm it. So having the correct overhang on the right side of the house is going to help with just solar warmth and cooling in your house. These are things that they used to think about that now they just throw houses together. I don't think there's a lot of thought into which way the sun's coming in and how much direct sunlight you get during different times of year. Like here's a beautiful big window. And you can see the overhang, and here they show the shade on here. Anyway, I assume we looked at that before. I don't remember. Okay, so we went through all these. We were all the way here. So let's see what we have. And what's fun, they show the outside of the house, but then they have the room layouts. So this is a gable is faced with rough-hewn timbers. Oh, I bet that's beautiful. Is that, when they say rough-hewn timber, do they mean is it like a, oh my God, a rough-hewn rooftop? Coarse texture of a face brick siding and chimney in combination with rough-hewn timbers over stucco of the gable creates a sturdy, creates a sturdy face for this type of house. This type of house now, I think a lot of people, they just redo this. They put wood siding or something over this because I think it's kind of out of fashion right now to have these, like, I almost want to call them a Bavarian look. You know what I'm saying? It's like white and then there's wood doing this. I feel like there's a lot of these in my neighborhood that I've seen, and people are just painting them all white or they're putting siding over it. It's not a popular thing right now. Let's see, what do we have here? So we go in the front door and there's a vestibule, which is great because you have a door here and a door here. So it's not like, because this is the living room, so you don't have the cold air just blowing into your living room. I like that. The house I grew up in had a vestibule like this. And then they have a little coat closet over here. And then you go into the living room and it's a 16 by 12 and there's a window. And that's that window. And the fireplace is right here. And that leads into a dining room where you have 1, 2, 3 windows. But I'm looking, it seems like the living room only has this window. I would like to have another window on either side of the fireplace because that doesn't feel like enough window for my... Although maybe this dining room window is close enough to give you light. Yeah, because there's no window on this side because you have the garage. I want another window. All right, so then we go in the dining room. That's nice, 10 by 11 and a half basically. And that walks you into the kitchen. And you have the refrigerator here. The range, I guess is what that are. The stove, the sink, I mean, has a window above it, which I insist on that. If I'm going to do dishes, I want to be able to look out the window. There's cabinets. They don't say anything about, I don't know, in the 40s were there dishwashers? I'm not sure, but I'd have a dishwasher there. But the range is all by itself. I'd like to have some counter next to my stove so I can chop stuff and put it right in. Although I have a 1950s stove. Some of you may have seen it. I've done cooking videos on it before. But let's see, hold on, let me get a piece of... So my 50s stove is not this big. That's kind of crazy, but it has 4 burners, and then it's just available space right here. So I have like this metal thing on here that I can wash, and then I have a spoon rest here. It's made out of a melted bottle, and then this is, you know, the stove part. So it's a pretty big stove, but so I can work on my stovetop if I want, but I have counter here. I usually actually work over here on the counter. But I do put the tray, like if I pull out cookies, I put them there, or a hot pot. I can put it on this. It's like an aluminum thing with, it's from the 50s, but with heat protectant on the other side. So you can set stuff on there. Anyway, whatever. You can watch one of my cooking with Linda videos. It might show the stove. All right, so we go into the kitchen. What do we have? We have steps down to the basement. And then off the living room, we have steps up. Wait a minute, there's steps down here. Oh, this is steps down to the outside backyard. I'm sorry. These are steps down to the basement. So they have the steps up and down, you know, are on top of each other. Okay, so we go up the steps and we have a full bath. That's cool. The hall, we have a bedroom that's 10 by 13 here. Probably has one ceiling that might be a little bit, you know, like a Cape Cod. So it might kind of have a tilt. Doesn't show you that. Probably over this closet. There's probably a little bit of a ceiling. And that's a 10 by 13. That's a good size bedroom. And then there's a 13 by 13 bedroom. That's a real good bedroom. And you have 2 closets in it. And you have window and window, 2 windows. This one has 2 windows. And then you have this bedroom is 11 and a half by 11 and a half with 2 bedrooms and a closet. And then you have a linen closet. Yeah, that's a great setup. 3 big bedrooms. And I guess if you really needed it, you might be able to figure out how to turn this into 2 smaller bedrooms for kids, maybe, and make that your master bedroom or your, they don't call it that anymore. I'm sorry. There's another name for it. I can't remember. Your main bedroom, whatever. I tell you what I like about the older houses is they have windows on all 4 sides. So many new houses, they put windows in the back and windows in the front, and they never have windows on the sides. Yeah, I love windows. Oh my gosh. Okay, basement contained garage entered from rear. So it must be on a hill. Is that what they're saying? It must be like this is kind of how my house is actually. So you have the house. Here's your front door. And then the whole thing's on kind of a hill. I didn't make the hill steep enough. So the back of it, I need a steeper hill. So the back of the house comes here. Here's a door. So the back's on the, goes down. That's what I'm guessing. Okay. Let's see. We walk in the front. We have a vestibule. We have a closet. And then you walk this way into the living room. That's a nice big 19 by 12 living room. And there's a window here and a window by the fireplace. I like it. That's nice. And then here are your steps, and the steps do the turn thing, which is always nice because, I don't know, you get to see it. You know what I mean? They always have pretty, you could put your sofa here or here in the middle. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you go upstairs that way. But let's go back in here. You go into your dining room. It's 12 by 11. Window. Go into your kitchen. It's 9.5 by 11. You have your refrigerator. Okay, you have your range. Your countertop's going straight across the back with the sink looking out. There's a door to the yard here. This goes down into your basement. Here's your basement. Okay, so you've come down in the basement. You have a room. And then the garage is, it looks like it might be what they call a 2-car long garage, maybe. I actually have this too. So you enter here, and it's kind of extra long. So if you wanted, you can put cars like that way. I think maybe that's what's going on there. We have that, but we have actually never parked a car in it. And we put a fireproof room here where we have our kiln, because we're artists. And then we have work tables all in here. And I can open this door up. And now I do honey down there. Anyway, it's useful space though. Yeah. And then you go up and okay, you go down this hall and there's your full bath. That seems good. And then this room is a 10 by 9 bedroom with closet. You have a 9 by 12.5 bedroom with closet and a 13 by 10.5 bedroom with one closet. And there's a linen closet in the hall. Okay. I mean, that all seems good. Yeah. Yeah, seems like a pretty good size house, doesn't it? Several houses of brick in combination with rough-hewn timbers, as shown on these pages, were planned for hillside lots in Pennsylvania. The basement plan shown on the right illustrates how the garage is built in the basement and entered from a drive which winds around the house. This provides for a picturesque drive. Yeah, I'm driving around my house. It's so picturesque. That's funny. All right, planning that assures economy in building. I like the sound of that. A near approach to a perfect square always reduces construction cost. Okay, so this is like a ranch style. It's a 1-story house. Let's see here. What do you have? You walk in the vestibule, and there is no closet, but it looks deep enough you could put hangers here and just hang coats and put a, umbrella holder. So that's okay. And then you walk through the second door and you're in the living room. All right. So we've gone through here. So this is bumped out a little bit, I guess. Gone into the living room. Confused by the chimney. Is it not an actual working fireplace? It must just be the heat, for the heating. It's not actually a fireplace. Okay. So here's this window in your living room. It's a 15 by 13, 15 and a half by 13 and a half. And you have one window over here. Okay. This a little bit reminds me of my son's new house. I want to punch another window into this wall on his. I feel like it needs one more window. I'm not sure why there isn't. All right, let's look at the rest of the house, and then we're going to think if we want to redesign this. All right, so on the back of the living room, you walk into the kitchen. The kitchen's 12 by 10, so there's no dining room. Okay. They aren't showing us. It looks to me like that's the refrigerator. They didn't say on here because they're embarrassed by it. And that's the stove, which sucks if you have a stove right next to your refrigerator, I think. Like for me, it does, because that's not great for cooking. You've got the sink, but you can't have anything here because they have put a dinette, and it looks like it could be a booth situation. You know what I'm talking about? And there's a window here. So you can't have anything here, or people can't get into their seating here. So the only counter space is here. But part of that is the corner by the stove, so you can't really get to that corner. This is a little tough. And what are they showing these black things? If that's the refrigerator and that's the stove and that's the sink, what are these? Upper cabinets? So the only cabinets you have in this kitchen are the lower and the upper here, but because there's a window here, you can't have anything over that stove. I'm not loving this situation. All right, so we walk down the steps. They don't show us a basement. We're assuming there's a basement. Okay. And then if you leave the living room this way, there's a full bath with a tub and a linen closet in the bathroom. Or you can turn this way and go into 12 and a half by a 10 bedroom that has two windows, one here and one here, and a closet. Or this way, there's a 12 and a half by 9 and a half bedroom with two windows and a closet. It's a pretty small house. I'm sure it is economical. I'm not sure how I would totally redo this kitchen. And this is a door out to the back. But I think maybe on this side, depending on what's over here, instead of adding another window, I might add French doors, the kind that open like that are all glass, to add more light, but also just to open the space up. Let's see. So they would be here. What could you do? I mean, some people would say bust this wall out of the kitchen. But then you really don't have cabinet space. But if you did, and it could be supportive of the house, but if you did bust this wall, and you could fit a dining room table here in this area, then you could make this corner not the dinette, but an area for your cabinets and stuff. See, I kind of like a separation between my living room and kitchen because I had 3 boys, and oftentimes they would be in the living room watching a show or playing a video game with their friends, and I like to be in the kitchen and not have to look at smell their feet and boy smell. I like having my own separate space. That sounded terrible. You know I love my kids, but everybody needs space. All right, but let's pretend we take out the wall to the kitchen. All right, so now we have a 12 by 10 kitchen, and they have the refrigerator, the stove. I don't like that. And we have okay, So let's put the sink here with the window. And now we have the corner cabinet. We can have cabinets all the way to where we have to leave space for the people to go out the door. Okay. So you could have cabinets here, sink. Now, assuming here you've put your table for your dining room, so you have to have space around that. This is kind of complicated. So over here, you could still have your refrigerator. And then you have to put your stove. So you have a window here. You just put your stove right here. And then a counter here. Yeah. You just turn this into a square kitchen. Still I guess you're leaving your refrigerator over here. And then your table here. And then you have a window here. And then you're putting in your patio door here. You have a window over here. And then this is the door to the vestibule. And then a little space. And then this is the door to the hallway. And then those are the steps to the basement. And that's the door to the backyard. I don't know, I didn't quite do that right. Yeah, it's a little tricky. I think there's room though. So now you put your... Where do you put your sofa? Anyway. Sofa out from the wall so people can walk out this way. That's one thing with and then your TV. That's one thing with these old houses. They're not really set up the way we do now for watching TV, especially big screen TVs. So sometimes it's kind of tricky to figure out where to put all that. Okay, the dining area faces front. This pleasing, 3-level has space for a third bedroom. I mean, it looks like a cute small footprint. That's one thing with this. I might actually bust out all this and add a second floor on the footprint, because you could leave one bedroom downstairs, turn this into like your office or a hangout room, and then add some steps here maybe, and then add a bedroom up here. But anyway, okay. The dining area faces front. Let's see. We have the vestibule. Oh, I see what they've done. And then you go into the living room. And in the living room is the closet door. I really want this closet door to be in this. Gosh, I'd almost want to shut that wall and then make a smaller, just make the vestibule a little longer and put hangers. I don't know. I don't want the closet right in my living room, but okay. So here's the living room, 14 by 11. You have a window here. It looks like a double window here, which is nice. Is there a fireplace? No fireplace. This is just like venting for the stove or something. Okay. And then you go up. Wow. Okay. So is this not a full? I see. It's like a split level. Oh, I don't love that. Okay. I get it. All right. So you go into your living room on one side, or you can turn and go into your kitchen. And then at this bump out here in the kitchen is your dining area. It's small. It's 6 by 3. So it's almost a dinette area. Okay. Boy. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking. So then you go up these 6 steps and you're in the hall, and see how it is. This is your living room. You're going up like a half flight to these bedrooms. What? Where is this window? You're going up a half flight, and that takes you to these bedrooms. And then they're saying you could add another half flight. You could bump out this original roof line. What? I feel like this is the back of the house, but it's the front, because look, here's the kitchen. So somehow they're talking about bumping out this roof line and adding a third bedroom. So then I guess it would just be flat. I guess I have seen houses like that where they have a big flat area. It's almost like Cape Cod bumped out. It always looks a little funny, I think. But, and then you'd get to the storage. I mean, that's a much more useful, it's kind of useful. Okay, so you go up a half flight of steps. You've got a bedroom here and a bedroom here. And then I guess you wouldn't have this flight going down into the kitchen. Why would you? Yeah, that just takes up space. You'd have a flight going up to a third bedroom and storage. Yeah, that makes more sense, honestly. If I wouldn't bother having a flight down into your kitchen, that just takes room out of your kitchen. Okay. So you have 2 bedrooms with closet, and then you could add a third bedroom, and then you can go down into the garage and utility room. I want to see what it looks like with that pump out, but that seems like it makes more sense. Half hexagonal dormers, attractive but costly. So they're talking about this right here. See how it kind of comes out? It's like, and then this fancy thing. They have some fancy stuff going on, but it costs more. Extra architectural embellishments sometimes must be sacrificed to cut costs. Yeah, but if you do it up front, it makes your house look better. It might be worth it when you go to resell. All right, let's see. And it's probably cheaper to do it when you do it originally. I don't know. So you have a vestibule. That's this. That's nice. And look at the round door with the brick. Oh my gosh. Has this stonework all around it and a round door. I think I told this story last time about in my area, there are some of these kind of doors. And this woman was asking who she could get to take she didn't like the round door. She wanted to take the round door out and have a square door put in. Actually, that reminds me. The house I grew up in Royal Oak, Michigan, had a round door. And when I drove back by it, somebody had changed it to a square, like Home Depot door. I was like, what the what? Why would you do that? It had the original wood door. Anyway, so you go in the vestibule and there's a closet on your left. Seems nice. Okay. And then you go into the living room, and this is the window for the living room. And there's a door here that leads you to the side porch. I like that. I like that. I'd almost want to screen it in so I could have this door wide open. I do like that. Okay. And then you turn left, and you're in the dining room. And you have a window here and a window here. And that's an 8.5 by 12. I mean, that's okay. That's good. And then you go back into the kitchen, and you have a window, 2 windows in your kitchen. Yeah, okay. You have enough room for everything, I think. And then the steps go down from the kitchen to the basement, or from the living room, you go out a door in the back of the living room and turn left, and there's steps up into the upstairs. So on the main floor, though, you have a bedroom with a closet and a bath. I think that's a bathroom. That must be a bathroom. It looks like it. So you actually have a ensuite bath in that bedroom. That's nice. Or you can go up. All right, and here are the steps. Doop. And there's a full bath upstairs. See, that's above this bath. So you have bath. That's smart. And then you have a 14 by 24 bedroom on this side with a closet. That's a big bedroom. And a 13 by 15.5 bedroom on this side. And they each have a window. Oh, okay, hold on. And then this one has 2 more windows. That's a nice big window bedroom. I like that. This side, I think what they're showing, I'm not sure, but we had this in the house growing up. They had a porch like this, but they made the roof flat, and you could actually, there was a door. You could walk out onto this porch, but my mom wouldn't allow us to because it was from 1926, and we lived there in the 70s. And she was so worried because it leaked all the time that if you stepped out there, it would collapse. I don't know. I did step out there because kids, we were like, mom's not home. But we ended up we ended up bumping out the bedroom eventually. My dad did, and made the bedroom bigger. Yeah, I guess and put a new roof on it. I think that's what he did. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, whatever. Okay. So that's pretty good, but it's only, oh no, I was going to say it's only 2-bedroom house, but there's one on the main floor. So it's a 3-bedroom. And I think if you wanted this 14 by 24, you've got enough windows. You could probably figure a way to break that into 2 smaller rooms if you needed more bedrooms. You could extend this hallway a little bit over here and make them, they'd be small, but sometimes it doesn't matter. Okay. The garage is built under porch in this model. Under porch. Oh yeah, okay. So here's your garage and there's your porch. Yeah, I mean, sure. All right. Similar setup, so we won't. Okay. Can be built with or without a basement. I think it's interesting that little smaller ranch homes in my area are selling for so much money. Like, I was shocked, but I guess because most houses have bedrooms upstairs, that people who don't want that, it's kind of hard to find a house where it's all one level now. And so they're paying extra for it. I mean, that's true in my area. I don't know about everywhere, but so I thought that was interesting because like a house on our street that's small and ranch ended up selling for more than like some of the big houses. I was like, wait, what? How much? But anyway, so this one here's a no basement floor plan. You walk in the front door and you go, there's a little tiny nook for putting coats, I think, but you walk into the living room and you have these nice big windows. That's nice. And a window here. And then you walk back into the kitchen and they have like a little bump out table with windows on either side. That's nice. And this looks like a big wall of cabinets with your sink. And then there's a door, this door. I guess that's what door they're showing. That walks out and you have like a little roof over the area going out to your garage. Which I had my aunt had a house like this and she glassed in this area and put a big dining room table in here. It was fancy though. The way she did it looked really nice. She put like wood floor. And then I think she added an upper floor to the garage for an extra bedroom. But it looked good, I have to say. It was kind of similar to this. Okay, and then, or you can go left out of your living room, and there's the full bath. You know what? I think this is a half bath. No, that can't be. It almost looks like there's a half bath and a full bath right next to each other, but that doesn't seem, I don't know. Anyway, there's an 8 by 10 bedrooms. That's a pretty small bedroom in the back. And then here is 11 by 10 bedroom. Look at it. It says disappearing stair. Disappearing stair. What? I guess that, no. I don't know what that means. Disappearing stair. Do they tell us? Young couples will find the basement version of this house an ideal home in which to start married life. In later years, a bedroom could be built on the second floor in order to accommodate a family of 6. This house plan is economical to build. See, I like the way they're assuming the kids will share. So you'd still have 2 in each room. I don't know when we became a world where every child needs their own room. I've told this before, but I have 3 boys. And somehow, even though some of them are tiny, I have a 5-bedroom house. 2 of the rooms are really small. But the boys shared 1 bedroom until they were like teenagers. And I kept telling them, I'm like, you can have these other bedrooms. We can set them up, make it really cute. But they just liked sharing. They had bunk beds and a single bed, and they shared that bedroom. Honestly, till they were teenagers. They just liked being together. Anyway, this house plan is economical to build since it's designed on a perfect rectangle, with the exception of the one break in the foundation wall made to provide for a gable. I guess that's here. This enhances its architectural attractiveness, at the same time creating space for the entry and adding needed size to the front bedroom. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of either screening or glassing that in, depending on the temperature where you are. And then, I don't know. Also, if you don't really use a garage, you could turn that into a workshop. It'd be kind of nice. Anyway, okay. A compact house with enclosed garage. So there's your garage right here. And you can walk into the kitchen behind it. And then that leads to the dining room. Oh, I kind of like this. And then here's the big living room. Yeah, that's not bad. Or there's the front door. Most people are probably going in their garage, right? No, but here's the front door, and you have this covered porch. Ooh, I like that. I love a covered porch. The only thing I don't like about a covered porch is sometimes this blocks so much light that your living room feels dark. But let's see how many windows. But they have 2 windows on this side, so it's probably okay. And a window back here. And a window here. This is almost open concept for 1940. Look, you go in, there's a hall where there's steps upstairs and a closet. And then there's this 13 by 21 living room that goes right, there's not a wall between them. It goes right into a 6.5 by 9.5 dining room. Yeah, that's like open concept. Look at that. And then there's a little wall for the kitchen. And then you can go upstairs, and there's a bedroom, a bathroom. You have a linen closet, and that's a walk-in closet for this bedroom. Wow. I'm not sure why the wall comes in here. What's over here? What is this space? They don't say. Huh. All right. Low horizontal lines for the suburbs. Oh, whoops. My pen top popped off. I don't know why I had trouble seeing that. Many outstanding features of this house recommended. Excellent circulation, wide windows, balanced design, no waste space, large closets, attached garage, and economical framing. Yeah. So it's a 1-story. You walk in the front door into the living room, and in the middle of the living room, which is kind of it used to be Cape Cods were generally like, that's not a Cape Cod really, but they'd have a super uniform. I don't even see one here. You'd have the chimney right in the center to heat the whole house. And sometimes it would be, it'd be kind of like this. But you'd have a chimney in the center instead on the side. And that would heat the house. And then you have dormers on either side. That's what a traditional Cape Cod, whatever. Okay. So we go in the living room. And we have a chimney here, which is fun. We have a double window here, this big bump out window. That's nice. We have a window here. Okay. And then you go into the dinette area of the kitchen. So that's 7 by 7.5. And then into the kitchen, which seems kind of tight. I'm not going to lie. They don't even give us the square footage, so it must be awfully tight. And that has the entrance to the garage, which looks, again, like maybe it's 9 by 18. So it's a long garage. And steps down to the basement and a door to the backyard, I think. Okay. Or you can walk this way into the hall and you have a full bath, a linen closet, And on the front is a bedroom, 11 by 9.5 with a closet and 2 windows. And in the back, a walk-in closet, I think, and then a bedroom with 2 windows. Yeah. All right. Simplicity is its greatest appeal. I don't see a garage. The need for economy was important in colonial days, as it is at present. Hence the popularity of the Cape Cod. Look, I went looking for Cape Cod in here. See how they have the fireplace right in the center? That was meant to heat, an original New England Cape Cod. That was meant to like heat the whole thing from the center. And then it's generally pretty like uniform. You have windows, and sometimes you have dormer windows up here. What do they say? Let's see. This is another brick house of excellent architectural design. Its straight line planning results in a rectangle except for the one break right here, I guess, which adds interest without greatly increasing the cost of construction. It's a good example of the general plan of home recommended in other pages of this book, holding down building costs. All right, let's see what we have. So you walk in the front door, you have a hall. That's nice, a little hallway with a closet. And you turn left, and you're in this pretty good size living room. It's 12.5 by 17, yeah. And right on this wall is the fireplace. Like that a lot, because then there's interest on every wall. You have this window here, but also in the living room there's window, and then it connects to the dining without a wall, so you have another window. So you'll have, and there's a, I'm unclear if this is like a window, or are they actually saying put like a French door. I think that's a French door. Ooh, I like that. I think that's a French door leading out back. That's a lot of nice light. And you have the fireplace feature. I like it. That's nice. And you have a hall. I want this. This is good. And depending on how big this hall is, you could put like some glass French doors even in here so that this cold air, if you're somewhere cold, doesn't get into your living room. I like it. Okay. The dining alcove is 9 by 9. I do think that's a door leading out back, which is awesome. And then you can turn right into your kitchen, which is 10 by 8.5. That's okay. That's pretty good. And you got a window. You got a door to the. If this is a French door, maybe you could do without this door, so you have a little more kitchen counter area. I don't know. I'd have to look at it, but maybe. And then let's see. Also, do you need this door? If you can just go in and out of the dining, maybe you also get rid of this door. That way your kitchen's a full square and you have more room for, counters and everything you want. Yeah. Okay. So then you can come this way to the hall, and you have a linen closet here. Oops, I hit my moon globe. This is the moon, in case you were wondering. It has all the lunar landing. I did a video with it one time about landing on the moon, which at the time people were like telling me I was being controversial because the whole stupid conspiracy stuff was raging. Anyway, okay. And then over here is a full bath. Straight ahead is an 8 by 12 bedroom with a closet and 2 windows. Or you can turn left into a 13 by 11 bedroom with 2 windows. Nice. Yeah. This house is kind of cute. I like it. Yeah, I do wonder about if you have this as a nice big door, that would help this kitchen, I think. You could close that off. I don't know that you really need this entrance either. You can just enter the kitchen this way. Yep. That's pretty good. It looks like there's steps down into a basement. All right, I better call it a day. Call it a day. We'll come back and look at this again sometime. I like this book. It's fun. I find it relaxing to look at. I think last time I did more adding additions. This time I didn't feel they needed it. But I remember last time I made one of these videos, I talked about how I was looking at houses and buying a first house with my son. Well, he bought one. He bought a house. It's all brick. It's cute. It's small-ish. It's kind of small. It's a two-bedroom, but it's a cute, like, full brick Cape Cod house. So, and it has all original wood floors that are in good condition. It has a basement and a garage. And as soon as he moved in, that air conditioner stopped working, of course. The microwave stopped working. The garbage smells. But still, it seems like a really cute house. So. Alright, guys, I will talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you made it all the way to the end of this, to the monster at the end of this book. Do you guys remember that? Grover was my favorite book when I was a kid. The monster at the end of this book. I don't know if we looked at all this before. Housing costs and family income. Cost of home ownership. They're assuming you'll spend $20 a year on upkeep. Can you imagine? Do they say in here how much a house would cost? What you can expect, income for housing, the mortgage value, which income for housing will finance. 1,100, is that the mortgage? I'm not sure. I think my parents' first house was like 10,000. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Look at how cool this house is. Oh my god. Cape Cod. Small house with a large reception. Center all brick. Has a